Happy Wednesday. I'm Rob Mack.
And I'm Jessica Moyer. Welcome to EverTalk Live. We are coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. for all things happiness in Hollywood. A little pop culture and positivity this morning. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Sun is out again, and I love it.
It feels like Los Angeles. Everybody always says, so what brought you to LA? And my cliche answer is sunshine and the dream.
Oh, I love that. So many folks just say money. Come for the money and the fame.
If you're coming for money, you're going to live on the boulevard of broken dreams in Hollywood with everybody else. But you can live your best life.
That's true. They charge for air here, apparently. It's amazing.
Well, speaking of best life, we've got some great guests today on the show who are living theirs. Good morning, everyone in the studio. Hello.
Good morning.
Nice to see you. Ladies first, the founder of the Fermenting Fairy is with us today. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning.
So we're so grateful you're here. We want to know all about your great products later in the show. But first, tell us, what's your morning routine? How do you start your day? Wake up and stay woke.
I wake up and I immediately get barefoot and I go outside into nature and I ground my feet into the earth. So I ground my energy and I meditate for a little bit. That's how I start my day.
So I gotta ask, if you have to get barefoot, do you sleep in your shoes or you're already barefoot?
Well, maybe sometimes socks, not shoes.
Socks.
So.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I can honestly say that's the first time we've heard that response. I get barefoot,
I agree.
my feet in the earth.
I know, it's very Sade ever. I love it.
So,
I'm into it.
Yeah, very cool.
Well, we're excited to welcome Josh Mooney back to the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, remind our audience, how do you wake up and stay woke? Is there something you're doing differently this year than you were doing last?
Well, I also wake up barefooted, and first thing I do is I go get a coffee, a strong coffee, and probably get my morning cardio in, as usual. Obviously, last time I did a big talk about my fitness, and nothing's changed there. I'm still very fitness orientated.
Love it. Apparently, you also get a tan because you guys look like you just came back from Miami, right?
Yeah, I just got back in from Miami for my birthday.
Oh,
it was a good week.
Happy belated.
Thank you.
Happy
Talk
belated
about
birthday.
Feet in the earth,
I
feet
know.
in the sand. We're going to Miami.
We are. Less than a couple weeks now, huh?
We'll tell you about that a little later. Rogan is with us today for the first time. Good morning, Rogan.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here.
What an honor it is to have Jogan.
Yes,
Jogan. We want to know, Rogan, how do you wake up and stay woke? What's your morning routine like?
Well, at the moment, it's getting woken up by him because we've just moved in together for the first time. We've been best friends for about 10 years, but now we finally live together. So the last 2 days, my morning routine has been him waking me up, telling me to get out of bed, which is, I don't know how I feel about that. But
I think we should start with his afternoon routine, because I think that's when it starts.
His afternoon routine.
you wake up in the evening, you know.
Are you barefoot?
No. Wellies actually.
I love it. Your accountability buddies.
Yeah.
Make sure they stay motivated.
This is either going to make or break this decade-long friendship. You know, I'm very curious.
I know, it's true. It's like road trips and rooming together. Those two things test your friendship more than or relationship more than anything.
Well, thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to continuing the conversation later in the show.
Awesome. Yeah, I gotta say, can appreciate the roommate situation. Do love my space, though. I think we all probably love our space, right? It's always so nice.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But you know, my best friend too, I talk about very often, she got married, we were living together, and we all had this big house we lived in the Hollywood Hills, just like you see on TV. It was like a TV show, right? His best buddy lived in our guest house. I lived in the main house with a couple. They get married, and you know, fast forward a few years later, and broken relationships and things like that. I call up and I'm like, so, by the way, he didn't realize when he married her that he got me too.
That's awesome.
So we share her.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I can appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. Gotta love best friends and roommates.
Indeed.
That's for sure.
What do you got going on this week, Jess? I know you're always up to something interesting. Did you say you saw the Joker, I think?
Oh, so last night I started watching The Joker.
Yeah.
I made it through about 10 minutes, and I will say that was one of the most incredible performances I have ever seen, and one of the most beautiful depictions of true terror and horror on such a deep human level.
Wow.
But I had to turn it off.
Oh, it was too much.
It was too much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to be able to like watch, process, meditate, fully sage, Palo Santo afterwards, meditate with the crystals. I wasn't gonna be able to watch The Joker and then go to bed.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, to be honest, like when I was a kid, I could watch like the horror movies, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th and stuff, and then I can watch the drama stuff and the action stuff and the violence. But as I've gotten older, it's like more and more difficult for me to actually like get through the entire movie when there's anything going on that makes me feel uncomfortable. And I don't know if it's just that I'm more sensitive or less tolerant of things that make me feel uncomfortable. I think part of it too is like you live so much life and you start to have experiences, and you know, I, to a large extent, work in the mental health field, so it's like, oh, I feel like too much of this is already so real, but I certainly appreciate the incredible job they've done with that movie, and I mean the cinematography and the acting. I mean, it's incredible.
Absolutely, the utmost appreciation and respect for the art and the performances that were captured, but really, almost as an empath, it's too much.
It is. It's
for me.
Overwhelming. I mean,
we've got to protect our energy and our space. I know you have an interesting article to talk about that.
Yeah. So the article's in my head. But you know, it's interesting because you know, we were talking, and I think you and I both identify like as empaths, right? So for like the longest time in my life, I felt so much stress and anxiety, and I thought it was just me, and then I realized that it was sometimes the environments I was putting myself in and other people in those environments. And so, you know, I came to appreciate the power of sort of like sensitivity and knowing how to, I guess, quote unquote, protect your energy. But one of the things I've discovered, both through just personal life experience and like working as a coach, is that, you know, there's a point in my career where I got so overwhelmed with listening to people's problems every single day, and I cared so much for those people and I wanted to help those people out of those problems, that I was becoming like inundated and overwhelmed with a different kind of depression than I had experienced earlier in my life, simply because I was sympathizing with people, with people's pain, and not just with the people. And so I think one of the things I've learned in the process is to sympathize with people, but not necessarily their pain, because when you sympathize with your pain, you reproduce it, first of all, for yourself in that moment, right?
Horrifying.
Yeah. You also sort of convince, confirm, and solidify in their minds and your minds the reality of what they're experiencing. And it's not like they're experiencing something that's not real, but you sort of solidify sort of how incredibly important it is and impossible to overcome, but you just begin to sort of get drawn into this vortex and this spiral of like negativity and toxicity. And so in that process, I realized that first, you know, if you want to save someone who's drowning, you have to be beyond drowning yourself. If you're drowning too, you can't help the drowning person, right? And the other part of that, the other way of saying it is, if you want to help someone, you kind of have to be beyond help. So there's part of you that has to know that all is well, even though this other person is experiencing everything but that.
Which seems all well and good, but if you're not in this state of like, hey, I'm above all this, I've got my peace, like most of us are. You know, we all have this turbulence in our lives, so how do we protect ourselves from experiencing that pain and not being triggered by that, even if we're not in a position where we can fully remove ourselves from those relationships, right? Especially if those triggers come from family members.
Yeah, can't really divorce
no,
sister, mom, brother, cousin.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's such a great question. I think, so part of it is, the simple answer is sometimes tuning out. So even though you're there with the person and you're sitting there with the person, if you can kind of like put your own presence and awareness in the foreground, and what they're saying, like the details of everything they're saying, like you don't need to hear all of that. You can just let that go into the background, but mostly focus more of your attention and awareness just on that place inside of you where there's already perfect peace. So the more you think, the more stress and anxiety you'll feel, and the more you get into the details of what they're feeling and what they're experiencing, the more you're going to spiral out of control, and you're not going to be able to hold space for someone in a healthy, happy, loving, understanding way. A lot of people think that's just the opposite. They think, oh, if I get down in the dirty sort of details, I'll be more helpful, but it's not true. You know, they're seeking that which they're not experiencing in the moment. If you can't offer them, for instance, peace when they're feeling conflict, you can't offer them a sense of well-being when they're feeling anything less than that, you can't truly be of help, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's a little tough. So tuning out sometimes is very helpful.
Or turn off the Joker, tune into Little Women.
That's always very helpful.
There's gotta be something,
Yeah, totally. I think the other thing is, which you've mentioned before, which I just love, is just keeping like interactions short and sweet. You know, you can meet somebody where they are, but you don't have to spend 2 hours. You can go back later in the day for another 15 minutes or whatever. Sometimes, you know, being in a conversation for 2 hours isn't helpful, right?
Yeah, especially if you're stuck on the 405 with nowhere else to go. You're going to get real frustrated real quick.
That brings up another point, which is like, you know, you want to make sure, if possible, to like maintain your own peace and equanimity before you enter into those conversations. If you're already unraveled and unsettled and you enter into those conversations, you're just going to basically pull the other person down with you, or they'll pull you down more easily, right? So it's like being off center. It's easy to get pushed when you're off center. Yeah.
Okay. Stuff to think on. I'm sure I'll have a conversation about this with my mom later today. She'll be like, "Were you talking about me?" No, Mom, I was not. I promise.
We love your mom. We love our moms.
We love our moms. We can't wait. We're gonna have to do a special mom episode.
Oh my gosh, I know. My mom has been the single greatest inspiration in my life, I'd say. No question about it.
Mine too.
Yeah.
On that note, stay tuned. We've got some very exciting interviews coming up later in the show. We'll be back with more on EverTalk Live. And I'm Jessamine Moyer. This is EverTalk Live, coming to you live Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. in the Ever Media Studios for a little Hollywood and happiness, positivity, and pop culture. On Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app, and of course, streaming live on all socials.
I've got so much love in my life. I get to do this with you every single day. I mean, it's incredible.
If you have a dream, do not let anything stop you.
You can have all the money or all the success in the world, but if you don't have peace, it's all worthless, really, right?
Happiness from the inside out. Please be sure, if you haven't read this book,
That's sweet.
you've got to. I
important to
love
remember.
what we do.
I do too, Jess.
Miracles. I'd like just my life to be an example that miracles exist. I am just so grateful that we get to be a part of this journey together, Rob, whether it's 4 a.m. texting up peanut butter and jellies or coming to you live Monday through Friday every 9 a.m. You know when you're going to see that, Eddie?
Yes.
When we're holding it in our
That's
own
right,
hands,
that's
Rob,
right.
for Best Digital Daytime Talk Show.
What makes people lucky, like actually lucky, is that they believe they're lucky.
Thank you for being my mentor, Rob.
Likewise.
He didn't even know it.
True.
I'm out all the time. I'm everywhere. I'm drinking my wine. I'm doing the show. I'm stepping and repeating on some kind of red carpet. I had a little too much. I said, one drink Jeslyn. One drink Jeslyn. 2 tequila Jeslyn. 2 tequila Jeslyn.
One drink jazz.
Is this one drink Jeslyn? I hope you're proud, Rob.
I'm very
reading
proud
a
of you,
book.
actually. I don't know how you have... The hair is killing it today.
Oh, thank
Are
you.
you feeling-
Clearly, we have no fun around here. It's a thing. Thought of the day. Light, love, and magic. Oh, I do it fun. It was wild. Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh my God, do you know we're still on live, Rob? Right now.
You gotta be kidding.
Talking to my angels.
That's hilarious. That's...
love what you do, you don't work a day in your life, right? I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah,
we couldn't do what we do without the support of you watching. Thank you for sharing, for DMing, for commenting, for continuing to support us as we grow and scale our vision. For the people in the studio and their friends and families for having our backs. We're so grateful.
Right. And I'm most deeply and genuinely grateful for you. Truly I am, Jazz. It's just a pleasure every day to get to connect with you and work with you. It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful for you. We love you, Rob Mack. There isn't a man or woman who hasn't met you and said you're the best dressed person in Los Angeles and the happiest guy we know. It's an honor to be able to do this show with you.
That.
Welcome back to EverTalk Live. I am so excited to have these two guys with us today, Josh and Rogan. Thanks so much, by the way.
You're excited to be here.
Joking.
Yeah, you can shorten that right up. Easy.
We'll both look at you when you say it, right?
Yeah.
We've got to ask about Chippendales. I mean, you left a lasting impression on Las Vegas. What was that like for you guys?
That was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Yeah, we like to think that we made a decent dent in Vegas. Yeah, we did.
As well as like the show's going well, but when we got told it got sold out as well, it's just like a cherry on top of the cake. It was brilliant. Yeah.
Is it anxiety provoking for you guys at all?
First one was a bit nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
but once you got that one out of the way, like the nerves kind of went away.
Got the first one done, had a couple cheeky tequilas, and then we were ready to go for the rest of the
The
weekend.
crowd was great as well. Like we were like,
That
because we were on
definitely
mics at one point. And I was like, bro, what if like no one responds or anything? But then everyone was just great and like they reacted really well. So yeah, really happy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the key to driving MTV to the challenge? We know it was your
Oh God.
U.S. first TV debut, big comeback.
Yeah, thank you.
Huge
Yeah,
comeback.
yeah. It was just knowing that it was almost over. Reminding myself I was nearly through it because yeah, it's hard work. People don't see that. Like they just think you go in, you're having fun, whatever. It's psychologically, you're constantly psychological warfare, basically like cutting deals, making alliances and stuff. It's stressful. It's very stressful. You're not just living there. You have to constantly survive. So
Yeah, it's stress physically and mentally, yeah.
yeah.
Was there anything about that experience that you sort of have taken now and applied to life? Like, oh, it reminds me of X, Y, and Z about life, or I want to do A, B, and C differently in my life, or
It makes you realise life is actually quite calm compared to like what goes on in that. Once you get out of that, you're like, oh my God, I can relax. Yeah. No one's trying to like plot against me or anything. Well, not that I know of, anyway.
right.
Well,
Not in front of,
actually.
not in front of my face, at least. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's that atmosphere is nuts.
Yeah.
But because like they take your phone off you and you didn't have any clocks in your one. No, you did. But yeah, they take your phone off you and it's a tough environment to be in, basically.
So why do you keep going back to this reality game?
I mean, it's good fun as well. It's such an experience. Like we're never gonna, well, we might, but live in a villa with 30 other people battling and fighting each other and competing. We're competitors. We always have been
And you
as well.
travel all over the world, and you're doing stuff like off your bucket list that you'd never even think of doing.
Yeah, so
like,
go jump off that mountain and zip wire down into the water and then race around there. It's like, yeah, we're not going to do that very often. So it's things that we're doing things on a daily basis that people would pay to go and do, and we're doing it.
Yeah.
Well,
So what was the biggest challenge for each of you in the challenge?
For me, it was the mental side for sure. Like
It's the whole
physical
process.
stuff. We train every day, so we're always pushing each other in the gym and doing different things physically. So that was good fun. But the mental side, like
in the house.
sending in people that we're basically friends with, like sending them home, sending them into elimination and stuff, like almost like backstabbing people.
Because
Like,
the format changes every time. If it's individuals, like, there's only one winner. So eventually you've got to send anyone you like home. Do you know what I mean? So, and you're with them in for like weeks in a house together, so you're going to build relationships and bonds. So, like, yeah, it's a nasty game.
Is it like, so I wonder, you know, I've always thought about this, like with sports, you know, you guys are familiar with sports, and when you play, there's an understanding, like you might foul somebody really hard or whatever happens, but after the game, for the most part, you're like, there's an understanding, you guys are cool with each other.
with a lot of people,
We take it personally. A lot of people take it personally.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, luckily we've never had to fight each other or battle each other, because that would be that would be horrible. I think we'd just not do it, just refuse and just hug each other.
Hug it out. Yeah.
So what is the story of your bromance? How did you two meet?
I hate when you ask this question, because this is the question that makes me look a bit weird.
Yeah.
So when Twitter came out about 10 years ago, I didn't really know how it worked, and also I just shot my shot, didn't I? I tweeted him openly, I didn't know how Twitter worked, and said, will you be my friend? Because I saw he was friends with a lot of my friends who were kind of hanging out in the same places. And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And he ignored me, obviously.
The thing is, it's not just like a message that you knew. That's open for everyone to see.
I knew it was a bit of a weird thing to do. But people ask people on dates. I asked you to be my friend. Yeah. So then I tracked him. I didn't track him down. I bumped into him at an event
Outside of his house.
Yeah. Bumped into him in his bathroom. Climbed through the window. All right, mate. So yeah, I just kind of kept bumping into him accidentally and being like, buddy, we're going to be best friends, you might as well accept it. And, you know, he has now, eventually. Eventually.
No, we literally went to quite a few fitness events together, and then, you bumped into me again, this guy's apartment on the balcony, and I was like, I know this guy, he's walking up to me.
I hadn't quite looked about me, by the way, I was invited.
You get my tweet? I was like, yeah, man, I got your tweet. Weird. And then afterwards we did a job together, and I
booked you for a job.
Yeah, you booked me for a job.
So
and
weird,
this woman came up to me and said, are you guys best friends? You went, we will be. And that was the end of it. And then
was I right?
Blossomed since then. Yeah.
That's such a great story.
Thank you.
Now we've got
shoot your shot, people.
Tattoos.
Yeah. Oh, wow, we have. I forgot about that. I actually forgot about that.
Really?
That was Vegas. Yeah. So I don't know if you can see it.
What does it say?
I've never seen it. It says Jogan.
Does it say
And it says
Jogan?
Jogan on it. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, that's for life right there.
I know, right? Yeah, that was a fun afternoon.
What is it about each other that you sort of feel inspired by and that you love most about?
We're so similar, aren't we?
We think and say the same things
Really?
like
Yeah.
very often.
Like people will say that they'll be speaking to him and then they'll go and have a conversation with me and they will get the exact same responses, like to the letter. So yeah, I think we're just pretty much the same person. So
Yeah.
we kind of gel quite easily.
It's fascinating. I had a good friend before I moved to LA. He said, "Oh, LA is one of those cities where you need a team. Like you need a team of people that you genuinely connect with that are in it just for you. They're not just, you know, also about the social climbing. They're just for." So have you? Clearly, you guys have worked that out. But have you found that to be like one of your success tips?
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, because like
He'll get me up in the morning and get me to the gym, and then
even with Chippendales though, like going on solo is so much more nerve-wracking than when you're going on with your best friend and you can just bounce off each other. Like there's like chemistry on stage. So yeah, it helps massively because you got your own little team going on.
Yeah.
2 for the price of 1.
Right.
Yep.
And you both have fashion brands.
Yes.
Okay, so tell us what's happening with that this season.
So mine's more of a gym wear, like lounge wear. It's called Bear Wear because my nickname's Rogie Bear. So yeah, so Bear Wear is mine, and it's quite new. We're just like rebranding everything and launching a full gym range, which is coming out soon. So
Oh wow.
very excited about that. Yeah.
Super
Yeah.
cool.
I've got label actually branded right up this morning.
Oh, right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
this tea is
Repping it.
launching tomorrow, guys.
Oh,
by the
well.
way.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's going really well. 1 year deep, had the birthday in November, so yeah, going really well. It's just exciting because like I can make my own clothes and like what, because I found myself wearing a lot, because in the industry you're doing a lot of people favours by wearing other people's brands and stuff. I was like, let's just make my own brands. Like,
Yeah.
let's make the clothes I want to wear. And so it's, yeah, I love doing it. It's great.
Is that difficult? Do you have an entrepreneurial spirit, each of you, like by nature, or is that something you've had to teach yourself?
We're both quite business orientated. People
Yeah.
might not know that actually because they just think we're, you know,
Good-looking
go
guys
to the
and-
gym
Chippendales.
and we can't
Yeah,
say
these
big
guys are
words.
just strippers, right?
But yeah, no, we both are. We get up in the morning, we do our cardio, we have our coffees, we sit down on the laptops and we get to work and we work on our fitness brands and our clothing brands and anything else that's going on. So
This
yeah,
is the thing with...
that's the thing that's been the same person as well. So.
We had this conversation the other day though, because like what you post on your story, I mean, it used to be my birthday and we went to Vegas, so all you're seeing is like the good times,
Yeah,
but
right.
no one sees us like actually getting up in the morning, doing our cardio, like just sweating out any hangovers we have. Do you know what I mean? We do have like a strong balance, really, don't we?
Yeah, we don't tend to put on Instagram or social medias us working at the laptops, us running for miles.
That's so
every
interesting.
morning. Yeah,
Boring,
because,
yeah.
yeah,
Like, I can
because
watch it
people
every
want to
time.
see us neck beers and have a good time. Well, that's what I want to watch anyway. So that's what we do.
I'm very curious for both of you. What was Plan B? I mean, you didn't plan on becoming reality stars at Chippendales.
We both work for ourselves, don't we? We're both self-employed. Like I'm sure, like if we work for someone else, then it's kind of a reputation. It's going to hurt your reputation, like going on X on the beach or something like that, because it could be frowned upon, I guess. You know what I mean?
But what did 7-year-old Joss want to be when he grew up?
Footballer. Yeah,
Really?
I played so much football. I was doing sports until I was like 24. I played rugby all my life as well. But then when I got to university, you start going out a little bit more than you should, maybe. And then
Social
I actually just
education.
got asked to go on MTV's X on the Beach, and that's where it all started, really. Yeah. I mean, I look back on myself on the show, I'm like, God, look at my haircut, what was I thinking and stuff, but I can't knock it because it's where I am today, and it's opened so many doors that I couldn't even imagine.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me.
So is there any of this you would have changed for yourself?
Just my hairstyle.
Just there.
Honestly, if you Google picture of me now, no, don't do it.
No, do it. It's hilarious.
What about you, Rogan? What did you want to
Do you know what? I think it's a very good question, actually. I think there's lots of different paths I could have gone down. I've always done sports, semi-stars. I did a lot of acting growing up, and I always thought I was going to be an actor. And then kind of, I have done little bits here and there, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, the whole reality thing was, 24, quite a few years ago now when I did the first one in the UK. And I just got the offer, and they were like, do you want to, get drunk in a villa with lots of girls and, get paid? And I was kind of just like, this acting thing there, it can wait. And so, so it's just been, and, it was still relatively young, we've just both hit 30. So it's like, there's still time to go do other avenues and things. And people, I don't know if I'll be in like a film with Al Pacino one day and people will be like, wasn't that guy on X on the Beach? So, but yeah, there's avenues to go down. So yeah, I don't think we're necessarily stuck in one, because obviously we've got different businesses and we're always doing different things. So yeah, there's still time, I think, and we'll see.
It helps with what.
Will I still be a footballer? Probably not.
No, I think it helps if you've got a brand as well, and you do get followings off these shows. So it does help if you do want to do your own thing. Like with my clothing brand, I've got friends I can put it on, do favors and stuff, and with my social media following, it helps to promote any business that I have. So
it's definitely a form of currency.
Of course, yeah.
No matter what you want to do, if you want to write a book,
it
helps to have followers already.
Yeah. There's reality stars that are getting like best-selling novels and things like that, and it's like they would never have done that if they hadn't done reality TV. They probably would have never even written a book if they hadn't done reality TV. So it does open a lot of doors. So yeah.
So what's next for the both of you?
Shows-wise, I'm not really sure all we're allowed to say, but I'm sure.
There's a lot.
So Hollywood.
I'm sure we'll be going back and you'll see us.
There's a lot of things in the pipeline, a lot of discussions to have, and we've got really good management, and we're just kind of
and the weekend in Vegas went really well. So.
But I mean, outside of business,
Chippendales and things.
Personally, I mean, are there any other projects you're working on?
I mean, it's like day 2 in LA for us right now, so we're just getting grounded. We did a huge grogrocery shop yesterday, and we're just trying to we just need to get a bit of downtime right now. I don't think you haven't even unpacked yet, have you?
No, I'm halfway through unpacking. That's how new we are here. So there's a lot of things in the pipeline, a lot of things that we want to do.
Super Bowl this weekend.
Yeah, we're new. Oh God, yeah.
Nice.
What are you going to do?
No, we're not going. We haven't decided yet. We were potentially going to Miami, but we're kind of just got here and we're like, right, let's just relax
for a minute.
So I don't know. What are you guys doing? Let's
I'm throwing a party. You're welcome to come.
There we go.
Boom. There it is.
We have an annual party in
really? Okay.
International Tacos. We're having an ice cream machine brought in, the whole thing.
Wow, the works.
I
like it. Nice.
Yeah, stadium seating, take out the furniture.
Stadium seating.
Whoa, wow.
I come to play.
We're there.
Yeah, right.
Well, guys, please tell everyone where they can find and follow both of you.
Myself on Instagram, I'm Rogue Snaps, or you can just type in my name, Rogan O'Connor, and the same on Twitter.
Or they can wait outside of Josh's house.
Yeah,
you'll probably be there. Now, actually,
you'll probably be in the bush.
If you want to find me, just slide him a DM and he'll tell you where I am. So
any moment.
You can follow me on Instagram at Josh Mooney.
Oh, thanks guys
Yeah.
so much. Welcome
Thank
to
you.
LA.
Thank you for having us. We
Stay
appreciate
tuned.
it.
We'll be back with more on EverTalk. 5, 4, 3, 2. Happy New Year, everyone. I'm your host, Jez Mouillet, aka The Trading Bell. What a morning it will be. Due to recent news, we're expecting that the market will be down today, but that could potentially present some opportunity for us. Let's take a look at our watch list. One of the things that differentiates the Trading Bell from any of the other stock shows, other than we do live trading, is everything that we do is on camera, so you can see it as it happens. You are seeing what's happening right now in this moment. 2020, it's all about money, money, money. That is my motto. Remember, money never sleeps, pal. That's right. That's why I'm here trading in Los Angeles live with you at the opening bell. Whew, sun is not even up yet, but the stocks are on the move. Numbers are moving faster than I can even speak. Well, let's face it. I'm excited. I'm thrilled. I've got goosebumps. This is a history in the making. Top of the list, SVRA up 154% this morning. Build BBI at 162. Oh, that feels good. BPH, Spring Bake Pharmaceuticals up 22%. That is going to make for a very sweet start to 2020. Filled. Woo! That feels good. Just a disclaimer, this is an entertainment show, so please don't treat any of the information you hear on the show as an investment advice, because trading is risky. What's on the year strong? Visit EverTalk TV, Facebook, or Instagram at The Trading Bell. Remember, every dream has its price. What's yours? Welcome back to EverTalk Live. We are here with the fermenting fairy herself, Ms. Lauren. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, beyond an incredible product, you have an incredibly inspiring personal journey which I believe was why you created this. Would you mind sharing it with us?
Sure, I would love to. So about 5 years ago, I was the sickest I've ever been in my life. Ironically, outwardly, I looked okay, and I was racing triathlons like 4 or 5 times a year, and had a full-time job. I was planning a wedding. I was engaged to a man and planning my wedding. So my outward life was seemingly perfect. But I was really sick with a lot of gut issues. I was going to the bathroom about 20 times a day, and a bit incontinent. And this is probably a lot of information that might be too. But part of my journey is to bring it out into the public and make it okay for people to feel sick and not try to hide it. So yeah, I was a prisoner in my own home in a way, because I was scared to leave my house. I didn't know, I always had to know where a bathroom was, because as soon as I would eat, it would just go right through me. And that is a sure sign of Crohn's disease. So I was eventually diagnosed with Crohn's disease. I went from being uber healthy to having to be on steroids for the rest of my life and immune suppressors for the rest of my life. Having a disease that's incurable, it just kind of blew me away, blew my mind. So I took my medication and started to feel a little bit better, but I was also told that food had nothing to do with the activity of the disease, of Crohn's disease. And something in me just didn't seem right, because I always thought that food had everything to do with my health. And so I changed everything. I changed my diet. I managed my stress levels better. I actually broke up with the person I was about to marry because it was a toxic relationship.
Full life makeover.
Oh yeah, full on. And I started eating fermented foods, sauerkraut mostly, and that completely changed my life. I stopped going to the bathroom 20 times a day, maybe like once or twice. My stools started to form. I was having more energy just from integrating sauerkraut into my diet.
Wow.
And
they say sauerkraut can be lucky.
Yes.
Literally, it's a Polish tradition. People eat
Yes.
sauerkraut on the the first day of the new year.
Exactly.
What was it nutritionally about that? Do you know that changed?
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, Crohn's is thought to be an autoimmune disease. However, I think first and foremost, it's an imbalance in the gut. It's an imbalance in terms of healthy bacteria and bad pathogenic bacteria. And so obviously I was very sick and I had an imbalance. So by bringing in healthy bacteria that was already in the sauerkraut, my gut just started getting more balance, and I was introducing healthier bacteria more than the pathogens, and that helped to heal.
It's so interesting. Bacteria has such a bad reputation. You
Right.
say the word bacteria and you're like,
Yes.
I want nothing to do with that.
Yes, I want
Thank
everything
you.
antibacterial, all of it.
Yes,
But
yes,
really?
wash your
Yes.
hands,
Yes.
nothing can touch the floor, yeah. And that was one of the most eye-opening aspects to my journey, is when I started fermenting at home, because once I knew sauerkraut was helping me, I started making it at home, and I was making kombucha and kefir and kvass and like all the different ferments. It was just, here was like microorganisms that we can't see, touch, hear, smell, right? An underworld that we always try to kill, and we've always been antibiotics, antimicrobial, like everything, hand wash, gel, but they're healing me. And it was just such a spiritual awakening that I'm now, like, there's a whole world that humans can't contact, but they're pro-life for us. They're saving us. They're helping us live ultimate, lives.
Wow, incredible. So you discovered there was sort of something here that was extraordinarily beneficial health-wise.
Yeah.
And how did that lead to fermenting fairy?
Well, I came up with these products simply for myself, and I spent the next 4 years after getting off my medications within 4 months of diagnosis.
So it was like prednisone, you're off that, or
prednisone.
Humira?
I literally threw it in the garbage, and cold turkey, just got off of everything.
Congratulations.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That is
You know,
amazing.
There's a time and a place for Western medicine and pharmaceuticals, and we're grateful for them. But the fact
For
that
sure.
you can maintain your health and your well-being naturally,
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
amen.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And in the beginning, it was not an easy road.
No.
There were moments where I was like, maybe I should go back on. Like, maybe the doctors are right. Maybe I am going to die from this. Maybe I am going to get cancer. I mean, I was fed all this information. But I just kept the faith, and I just kept believing that I'm not here to suffer. I'm not put on this earth to suffer. And my body really has an innate intelligence that wants to shine and wants to glow and wants to, you know, be a part of this world to help it, you know, to make it a better place. So, yeah, I got off my medications, and then
I'll drink to that. Let's try this. Yeah, what did you bring today?
So I brought our 2 lines of products. So this is our coconut milk kefir. This is the only vegan milk kefir on the market.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Wow.
and what is a kefir?
So kefir, you say it so beautifully.
She does.
Kefir is fermented milk.
Oh.
So you can ferment any kind of milk, whether it's dairy, goat, or vegan. And we do a vegan, so we do coconut milk.
Okay.
And we are the only ones who are doing a vegan milk kefir. So it opens up, you know, kefir is one of the healthiest forms of food on the planet. It's got the most amount of diversity out of any other food in terms of microorganisms.
Love that.
Oh, wow.
And this is the lavender ginger.
That's our,
lemonade.
yeah, that's our lemonade. So our lemonades are a wild fermentation of ginger. So for our lemonades, we, do you like it?
I love it. I didn't expect
It's sweeter
it.
than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, right. We keep
That's
it
awesome,
not so heavily fermented, just so it appeals to more people.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Is it best just to drink this plain? Can you add it to some sort of like granola or
Yes.
cereals?
Oh my God, granola, it's amazing.
Oh,
Any kind of sweet with the tanginess is so perfect. So making smoothies, that's my favorite thing, is adding some bananas or mangoes to it.
Coffee?
Coffee, yeah, coffee and tea. Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And granola, oatmeal, anything like
Vegan
that.
granola.
Yeah.
And that one, so that's the lavender ginger lemonade.
This is our lemonade. So this is unique. We are creating a category in the beverage industry. Nobody else is doing what we're doing. It's what I call a next level kombucha. It's not kombucha.
wow.
We derive our probiotics from the ginger itself. So we actually create a ginger SCOBY. And then we add that to lemon and we create a lemonade, a fermented lemonade.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Next level.
So this
Really good.
has probiotics and fermented ginger.
Wow, it's really,
Which is
you know
really
what?
healing.
It's very subtle. It's not like, you know, sometimes the kombucha will like make me feel like, oh, it's too much almost.
Oh, for sure.
But this is amazing. Like it's so.
Thank you.
Oh, well, it's made by the fairy herself. The fermented fairy. Thank
Really
you, Lauren,
good,
for
wow.
sharing your products and your stories. Please tell everyone where they can find and follow you, and of course, get your product.
Sure. So our website is fermentingfairy.com. Instagram, fermenting.fairy. Don't forget the dot in between. We ship nationwide, and we're in about 25 different stores from San Francisco down to San Diego.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, and some on the East Coast too.
All right.
Ah.
Definitely checking that out. That's
Well,
really good.
Bottoms
Ginger-
up to the
yes.
fermenting fairy. Thank you very
Cheers,
much,
thank
Lauren.
you.
Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on EverTalk Live. If your life was the Joker.
Happy Wednesday. We are here live in Los Angeles. Welcome back to EverTalk Live. Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Joss Mooney
Yeah.
is back. Back with
Yes.
his buddy Rogan. Jogan was in the house. Talk about eggs on the beach. I cannot imagine that.
Oh,
Showing up
no.
to a beach
Yeah.
full of all your exes and then putting it on TV.
There's not enough money for that.
That is a challenge
Right.
of itself. And you know, I'm so proud of Rogan for making his big comeback.
Yeah.
He got kicked off like the first season of the challenge, episode 1.
Oh,
it was
man.
really a challenge for him physically and emotionally and mentally. So to see him come back and to see the two of them so happy together and rocking Chippendales in Vegas,
What? Yeah.
so cool.
Good for them. I mean, just amazing. I have to say, like, I give such kudos to those guys because, I mean, you and I don't know how we'd fare on a show like that because we're such empaths. I don't like the idea of, like, you know, even if it's a game, but.
You know what, Rob, you and I, with our
know.
partners combined, we'd be like, just send us home.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be
We're good.
fine.
Yeah.
We don't want to play mean. We're just gonna, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go home. We're gonna drink our fermenting fairy.
We should maybe do
I'm
the
kidding,
Amazing
like-
Race together.
Oh wow!
I
could do
just
that.
had like a
That I could
stroke
do.
of genius.
That I could do. Definitely could do that. I'm good with the endurance stuff.
With our powers
Yeah.
combined.
I can run for a while. I can bike for a while. Swimming is okay. I can improve that.
MTV or CBS, we accept the challenge.
Totally down with that. Absolutely. Wow, what a day. So great. And I love the point Alaska's made sort of around the faith thing too, and the intelligence of the body. It's so interesting because yesterday we were just talking about that.
Right.
The whole, you know, Joe Dispenza thing.
Trust
right?
your gut.
Yes.
And try the fermenting fairy. We are EverTalk Live, coming to you Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. for all things happiness in Hollywood on Apple TV and Roku via the EverTalk app.
Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Happy whatever day it is, Rob.
Yeah, Wednesday, right? I know.